Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today I'm going to be asking the question whether playing for free is worth the pain inside World of Tanks. I'm going to be playing today in the BZ-68, and as you might have seen in the thumbnail, if I decide to include it, I am playing a completely stock tank. We got the stock turret, we've got the stock engine, and the stock tracks. Now luckily, on the Chinese vehicles, they come with the upgraded gun from the get-go, and a lot of the pain inside World of Tanks will be getting that first gun upgrade. Now, sometimes in World of Tanks, to be able to get the top gun, you have to get the top turret. And then sometimes in World of Tanks, when you want to get the top turret, you've also got to get the tracks. Now, one thing you can do, if you have a few equipment demounters, is while you're trying to get that gun, to avoid having to get the tracks, to be able to get the turret, if it's heavier, then you can put a durability device on. The durability also increases the load capacity of the vehicle by 10%, which is usually more than enough in every circumstance to be able to put the turret on without the tracks. And trying to race forwards to get a good gun is usually half of the pain inside World of Tanks. So I guess this isn't as painful as it could be for a stock vehicle. We still got decent pen, we got decent alpha damage, and while we will be suffering with the turret, it's not the end of the world. Usually when you've got a stock turret, you're getting bad things like accuracy, aim time, rate of fire is usually a little bit worse. On some auto reloaders, you actually lose a shell, like on the Pantera, for example. A lot of people get the Pantera on my stream, and they're saying, why has your Pantera got 3 shells and mine got 2? Yeah, it's a little bit bizarre in that case. I think it's actually the turret that ends up adding an extra shell to that. So free-to-play pain in World of Tanks is just not having enough free experience to be able to research modules. And when you think that Wargaming have things like assembly shops that go into the game what feels like every 6 months now, well, it is pretty much every 6 months, at least it's been for the last couple of years that way, that they're kind of demanding that if you want to collect really good tier 10 tanks, that you spend your free experience there. And as a free-to-play player, well, at least on my free-to-play account, I try not to actually research any modules anymore, so that I can save for the assembly shop, but also so that I can get to experience the game like, I guess, at least half of the players play, right? Half of the players play stock tanks, and the other half probably convert free experience. When you convert free experience in World of Tanks, not a lot of people realize just how darn expensive it is. It is incredibly expensive to convert free experience in World of Tanks, if you're not doing it at a discount, and it is still expensive if you are. Think about it like this. You get 25 free experience per gold you spend. So to get 25,000 free experience, that is 1,000 gold. So to get 50, that's 2,000 gold. Now, quite a lot of vehicles end up having guns that cost 50,000 free experience. So that's 2,000 gold to be able to get your hands on that, just to be able to have the luxury of unlocking a gun on one vehicle. That's insane. The idea that people would be converting free experience to be able to research modules on tanks, that's a really expensive hobby. I'm actually just having to double think here. Am I making a mistake with these calculations? No, I'm pretty sure you would need 1,000 gold, 2,000 gold for 50,000 free experience. And how much does 2,000 gold cost in World of Tanks? It's got to be at least $10, right? That's mad. I'm going to have to pause for a second just to check. That's what the current price is on the European server, just under £7, which is roughly about $8 to get 2,000 gold. That is absolutely bonkers. Imagine spending £7 and you had to grind the 50,000 experience on one of your vehicles anyway, just to have the luxury of having a gun on a single tank, when there are like probably about 100 different tier 10s that you have to research from tier 9 vehicles. Madness. And so a lot of people don't realize just how much it costs them in gold and in money. And it's very tricky for gaming companies to dissociate kind of the gold price from your actual money price as to what things cost. It's a sneaky tactic, to say the least. So just going to highlight, that was a really important shell there. You can see the artillery on my team, who I'm doing really good work with. I've been calling in some fire support from him. They've been doing a great job. Asked for help. They press affirmative. We press affirmative. And let's see whether that artillery is going to to help us deeper in this battle, as they seem to be landing shell after shell after shell in the center. Now we're down 3,300 hit points, and oh, maybe it's going to be a little bit more with this pattern catching us. A little bit of cheeky reverse side scraping here, but unfortunately he's still able to go through my side armor, even though it's very thick on this tank. We're going to try and get back as quick as we can. We're using an experimental turbo, which will help our reverse speed by about 2 kilometers. The engine power on this vehicle is still a little bit lackluster, but I decide to use one of those boosts to lurch forwards, make the pattern shoot my side armor, miss my lower plate, and if I missed, well, I guess I could have forced him to drive in a certain way there to confirm the ram. That is where rockets are absolutely awesome. And just doing this dirty work is what free-to-play players have to do quite often. You know, you don't have the tracks, you don't have the engine, you don't have the top turret, but what you can do is still put yourself in a position where you can be useful. Thank your allies for when they provide you fire support. Try and keep them going for future fire support. And we can be in any tank. We can be in a bottom tier light tank with 1 hit point, and we can just sit below the hill there and still proxy spot people who are above us. And we're just slowly but surely clawing our way back into this game. Now we're actually up by a kill. I was thinking that maybe I can be a little bit more cheeky. Maybe I can be a little bit more aggressive here and go after the enemy team. So again, still spotting for that Progetto over towards the west. But I digress. I want to get back to the matter at hand. And that is, can you believe how expensive it is to research these tanks? And it's crazy to me thinking that people could just put time in by using experience boosters, or when there are 5 times experience events going on, and actually play the game how a lot of people used to have to play, which is playing through painful stock tanks and trying to make the most of it. Now it does suck. It's incredibly frustrating for me to go onto the free-to-play account and to take steps backwards. It's awful to, for example, let's say I'm playing the Charioteer on the free-to-play account, to have to play with that 20-pounder and to know how good the tank is when you get the 105mm, but still have to suffer and suffer and suffer through with it, playing it in an awful fashion once you know how good the gun is. And so I'd like to apologize for being a content creator for 10 years within that regard, that I have shown tanks how they could be played, and then when people get them and they're stock, they must feel absolutely horrible. So I'm sorry. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't watch my content on a vehicle. But then you wouldn't know if it's going to be any good when you finally manage to get through the problem. Oh well, it's a double-edged sword. You know, there's probably not any one individual correct answer here. All I'm saying is that when you've played a tank that's fully upgraded, oh my word, does it feel painful to go back. I guess your brain starts to associate that that's how the vehicle performs. All right, once again, I give the artillery a thumbs up. They're going to communicate their reload to me. We've managed to do 6,800 combined here, but I have to play. Now, I don't usually want to rush a tier 9 vehicle, a stock tier 9 vehicle, into 2 tanks, a Miel, which is a Borask, and the Object 277, but I realize I have to get forwards right now, because the longer I leave it, the more that Foch 155 is going to be behind me. So I'm going to race forwards, get into the Miel, put an HE shell through him, and now I got to just try and get away from the 277 in my slow tank. I'm hoping the artillery's going to help me, and oh my word, a lot of luck there. The 277 low rolls on me. Instead of hitting for 490, they only hit for 436, leaving me in this game. So the IS-7 on my team pinging around the corner, the artillery telling me that they're going to reload here, and I need to get forwards and just chance it against this 277, and boy, did we just pick up the kill with an outplay there with the rockets around the corner. Beautiful moment. Caught him, and then hopefully now we caught the Foch coming up, showing you just how important it was to be able to make that aggressive play. We bounced the Foch, an AP round. We're going to go for the kill shot here. We don't quite manage to make it. Are they going to push up against us? It's tense. We're up to 7,700 combined here. And that puts us across the 8K. Oh my word. Did this feel good? Huge shout out to the artillery. Presses affirmative at the end of the battle. Could not have done this without you, Speedy 66. And through all of the pain, through all of the suffering of playing your stock tanks, I have to admit, boy, does it feel good when you have an absolute banger game without any of the advantages like premium consumables, like a turret, like the engine, like the tracks on a tank like this. And boy, does it feel satisfying getting your first ace tanker while the vehicle is completely stock, I guess, apart from the radio. Nice high caliber here. Top gun for our 6 kills. And yeah, 14,000 experience on a stock tank. That would have cost us, how much gold was that worth? That was worth, at a non-discount, nearly 600 gold. Of course, most people convert experience when it's at a discount, so maybe it's closer towards the 450 gold mark. But one game for 450 gold? That's some good stonks. Even with what plus you'd have to play for pretty much an entire week to get 500 gold, and that's with ponying up $8 a month to pay to Wargaming. And while I'm not going to say that every game goes like this, boy does it feel amazing when they do on the free-to-play account. And we immediately messaged Speedy66 in their artillery saying, wow, what a game from us, from the BZ68. Thanks for the fire support. No problem. Good job. Well, shout out to you, Speedy. You definitely made my day on the free-to-play account. I think it was last Friday. So to come to a conclusion, is free-to-play worth the pain inside World of Tanks? Well, look, firstly, I'm an okay player, at least at times, and so I do understand that for me, my idea of pain is probably a lot different to some of the hells that a lot of the new players in World of Tanks have to experience. But even for me, as someone who I would consider myself to be pretty darn well off and have a very steady income, I would never spend that $6 to be able to just research one module on a vehicle. Crazy. Even if we were to look at this is about $6, this is about $3, this is about $3. You're telling me I need to pay $12 as well as also grind 100,000 experience on other vehicles just to be able to experience a tank like it's meant to be from the get-go? That's absolutely bonkers. So I think it maybe is more of a case of you have to put up with the pain in World of Tanks, because the price tag, even though Wargaming try their hardest to try and dissociate the gold from your actual money, is just ludicrous. And so try not to worry so much about sucking in a vehicle while it's stock. Don't worry about the impact that it has on your account with regards to statistics. Make use of things like free premium days from World of Tanks events, or even drops that you can get on my Twitch channel. Activate those 3 times bonuses for your wins. Try and keep calm and composed. And then eventually you might get mountains of XP to make that grind a little bit more bearable. Oh, and also a lot of luck. As we saw that with the low roll on the 277 can help out. But boy, I tell you, most stock mid-tier heavies aren't going 1 versus 3 at the end of the game. To be fair, it was a 2 versus 3 with the artillery support without a lot of luck. Anyway, ladies and gents, boys and girls, that was it for me today. Really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And let me know in the comments down below whether you are a player who actually grinds through stock modules, or do you convert the gold for free experience, and did you realize how expensive it was? And if you're watching this video as it's released on Monday, it's time for some new drops tokens live right now on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby. So come along, get yourself some tokens that you can spend on fat loot inside the game, like an epic style or alternatively tier 6 premium tank, or if you already have all of those, you can get yourself premium day and some 5 times experience games. So really looking forward to seeing you all live right now on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.